Hey everybody, meteorologist Sarah Gannon here with a quick update on the forecast. A little bit to keep an eye on here for the upcoming week. We are tracking some fog chances, but we're also keeping an eye on some temperature changes headed our way here for the weekend and extending into next week. So a few things to watch for, but as we move ahead here to the upcoming week, continuing on with the week here, just a couple of things to keep an eye on. But overall, temperature-wise, we've been pretty comfortable, pretty seasonal. It's just that humidity that's been not our favorite thing here this week. But if you are watching on Facebook, feel free to drop any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that into the comment section. I'll keep an eye on that here, and I'll try to answer those questions for you. Let's see here. Do one more housekeeping thing, and then we'll be able to dive right on into everything. Hope everyone's been having a good Tuesday. As we look here at your first alerts on the screen here, you'll notice that we have fog, showers and thunderstorms, and those temperatures. All those things that I mentioned that we are going to be keeping an eye on here for the next few days. Main thing tonight, we did have some stray showers earlier this evening. Most of that kind of fizzled out now here with the loss of daytime heating. We will look to bring back fog again overnight and into your Wednesday morning. So I want to give you the first alert to that impact potentially to your Wednesday morning commute. And then as we look a little bit further ahead into the weekend, looking to track less humid conditions and cooler temperatures. So that is that big temperature change headed our way. So again, giving you that first alert to that temperature swing that we will be seeing later on in the week. So first off, of course, as we head into the evening hours of tracking that fog potential, I would say between anywhere from 3 a.m. through about 8, 9 a.m. could be looking at the potential for maybe some areas of patchy fog, maybe some pockets of dense fog. We'll have to keep an eye here on National Weather Service to see if they decide to issue any fog-related headlines for overnight or into tomorrow morning, and that might be more of an overnight shift decision. Folks that are on the overnights there likely be making that decision depending on how that fog develops, where it develops, and just how dense it may become. So something to monitor here as we head into that morning commute. We did have some fog-related headlines this morning. The question will be, will it be as bad as what it was this morning? So just something to be mindful of, something to keep an eye on here as we move into tomorrow morning. Skies are quiet out there as we check in with your Lewiston Auto Live camera. Temperature-wise, we are into those low to mid 70s. Dew points pretty much into the lower 70s as well. So we are looking at some lighter winds. So we still have that potential there for that fog to develop. Not quite just yet, but I'd say we look to bring that better potential for some fog in the area by later on tonight. So still a couple lingering showers in the area here this evening. We can zoom in a little bit closer. I have a cell into northern Olmsted County, just south of Orinoco there. So folks in northwest Rochester may get a quick little drink of water there. Folks towards Iota did see a few showers passing through there. That looks to be on the decline in terms of that heavy rainfall, looking to be fizzling out. But for the most part, a lot of us have been staying pretty dry here throughout this evening hour. So as we kind of zoom out a bit, we have high pressure gaining control of the upper Midwest. So that will put us in that quiet pattern, quiet position here for the next couple of days. So rain chances looking to be pretty slim to none here for our Wednesday and into our Thursday. Timing things out here for the rest of tonight, we'll bring in that potential for some foggy conditions tomorrow morning. I don't think it'll be as widespread as what we saw last night. However, future track, as you can see, it looks like cloud cover, but it's actually that fog potential for tomorrow morning. Again, I think as we strengthen that sun tomorrow morning, we'll be looking to see that fog burning off by about 9 a.m. or so. So definitely looking at some impacts there for that morning commute, and then into the afternoon, some nice sunshine, high temperatures there, seasonal into the upper 70s and low 80s. Then we fast forward there into Thursday morning, and again, maybe that possibility for some fog again here in southern Minnesota and northern Iowa, but should have a better handle on that fog forecast by tomorrow evening. In terms of precip chances, looking pretty slim to none here for the upcoming week into next week. Better chance, maybe some stray showers and thunderstorms come Friday, something we'll monitor here in the next couple of days to make sure that stays on track. We certainly don't need the rain right now. A lot of folks really have been very saturated with all that heavy rainfall the last handful of days. good opportunity for us to dry out. Certainly don't need any more of that rainfall. But at this point in time, looking there at that 7 to 10 day forecast, Friday looking to be our best chance for rainfall. Now, getting to the good news, if you have been, it's been a humid summer, I'll tell you that. But as we look at that dew point trend here for the next 5 to 6 days, still here through this work week, we'll look to see some higher humidity, dew points into the mid to upper 50s or 60s, maybe even some low 70s still lingering around for those dew points. But the good news is looking to see some relief from that by the weekend. Saturday and Sunday looking to see dew points back into the 50s. So we'll be looking at a cold front passing through Friday, which is why we have that shower and thunderstorm chance on the backside of that cold front, bringing in some cooler, less humid air. So you can already see there on the dew point scale, dew points returning back into the 50s, a lot more comfortable, drier air back in the region. But looking further out in terms of temperatures, even starting this weekend, we'll be looking at some cooler, below average temperatures. So this is looking at the next 6 to 10 days as we get towards this weekend, next week, potentially even into next weekend. Very high chance. Notice the purple. It's about an 80 to 90% chance of seeing below average temperatures here in southeast Minnesota, northeast Iowa, but this stretches south into much of Iowa, into a good chunk of Missouri, over into Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, portions of southern Wisconsin, and into southern Michigan. So good chunk of the Great Lakes region and portions of the upper Midwest, looking at some below average temperatures here for the area. So this will kind of be the tail end last week or so of August. So definitely a big temperature swing, big temperature change on the way. And this is good news if you are kind of over the heat, over the humidity, but ready for fall, pumpkin spice, I guess. But if you're not a fan of the cooler weather and you just want that summer sun, that humidity, the heat, not good news if you're one of those folks wanting the true summertime feel. But, just kind of a change of a season. It sounds like high school football season is just around the corner, getting ready to start there. So with maybe football, the pumpkin spice returning to the area, region, why not bring that into a little bit of some cooler temperatures? So little reprieve there from that heat and humidity, but it's the Midwest. We will likely see more of that heat and a little bit more humidity, I would say, as we move into September. Very typical for us, at least from what I can recall in the last handful of years. So hopefully there we can kind of get a nice balance before we fully transition into that fall season here in the next month or so. Tomorrow, things looking pretty decent. We'll manage that fog in the morning, and then we'll look at sunshine there into the afternoon. High temperatures in the upper 70s to low 80s. Pretty decent here for our Wednesday, very seasonal. Looking ahead to that 7-day forecast. There you go. We are looking at that big temperature swing. Again, cold front will pass through Friday, and that will bring us that shower and thunderstorm chance to the area. That will also bring in that cooler, drier air for the region. So we're going from upper 70s here between Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So the rest of this work week. And then we transition into the 60s for high temperatures. And yes, you are reading that correctly, mid 60s for the highs Sunday and into early next week on Monday. So definitely a big change on the way. Fall certainly looking to be in full swing. So kind of a little bit of everything for everyone here. Certainly enjoying those drier conditions, though, as we still have some folks cleaning up from some floodwaters. We need that water to recede a bit. We need things to dry out just a touch here as we gradually start moving into harvest season. That will start moving in towards September for some folks. So kind of a quick glance here at the forecast. That's really that big talking point in the immediate forecast for tonight, that fog chance, that fog potential, and then looking further ahead into the weekend, a big temperature change. So just kind of jumping back over to Facebook here. How does it look for outside activities on Saturday? Andy, I'd say conditions are looking pretty nice for Saturday. As we kind of discussed here, and you can see here on the 7-day forecast too, I think things are going to be looking pretty nice for Saturday. Maybe a little damp in the morning, depending on that exact timing for thunderstorms on Friday. We're still fine-tuning some of those details with our Friday storm chances for the area. But Saturday afternoon, I'd say conditions looking pretty decent. Of course, a little bit cooler, a little more crisp feeling there as temperatures climbing into those upper 60s, maybe some low 70s. But otherwise, sunshine, dry conditions. So I think Saturday should be great. Weekend overall as a whole for the area looking fabulous. And Wendy, I think I'm with you here. Looking ahead to definitely the less humid conditions. You know, I'm not opposed to kind of these mid to upper 70s, but it's just that humidity that really gets you. I like the sunshine. I like these warmer temperatures. I'm not a big fan of like the long stretches in the 90s that we get sometimes, but definitely some mid to upper 70s, and that lack of humidity is what I really enjoy. So Wendy's certainly on board with the lower humidity here for the area. So that's kind of what I'm seeing for comments on Facebook. Thank you everybody for watching and for joining and tuning in here. Started a little bit later, but you know, that's all right. So we will be back here for 10 o'clock, our broadcast. We'll have more details here on that forecast there. Otherwise, we'll see you back here on Thursday for our next weather check, but I hope everyone has a great Tuesday night and looking ahead to a nice Wednesday, more seasonal temps there and those dry conditions. So hope everyone has a great one. Have a good night.